In this lesson, we are going to represent our health using hearts, kind of like what you see in the game Zelda. So to begin, we're going to create a new UI document called hearts. And then we're going to drag a visual element onto the canvas and call it panel. We're going to set its position to absolute and its picking mode to ignore because we don't want any events to be triggered by it. And then we're going to set the width to 40% and the height to 10%. Then we're going to set the flex direction to row, and then we're going to enable wrap. Now we're going to make a visual element a child of our panel. We're going to call it heart container, and then we're going to set the width to 10% and the height to 50%. Then we are going to set the background image to our heart border. Then I'm going to make another child, call it heart, and we're going to set its background image to heart. And we're going to set the flex grow to 1. And we're going to set the width and height to auto. Now we're going to set the visibility to invisible. And we're going to duplicate the container roughly 20 times. Just confirming that we have 20, that looks good. Now we're going to create a new USS file. And we're going to call it hearts. Then we're going to extract the panel styles, the heart container styles, and the heart styles. Now that we've done that, we can go ahead and exit. And we're going to open Rider, and we're going to create a new mono behavior called Hearts UI. We're going to create a variable to store a reference to our hearts panel, and it's going to inherit from the health UI. We're going to override the onEnable function, and within it we're going to set the variable we just created, and then we're going to call on max health changed and on health changed. Now in the on max health changed function, we're going to loop through each of the hearts, and we're going to check if our maximum health is, or the index is less than our maximum health, and if it is, then we're going to set the visibility to visible, and if not, we're going to set the visibility to hidden. And then we're going to repeat the process for health. Next, we're going to make the onValidate function virtual, and we're going to override it. And we're going to check if we have an owner. And if we do, we're going to check the max health value of the damageable component. And if it's 20, which is greater than the number of hearts, then we're going to log a warning, and we're going to set the owner to null. We want to make sure that we set the visibility of the child and not the container. We're going to create a new empty game object and call it Hearts UI. Then we're going to add a reference to our Hearts UI script, and just to show you guys, I'm going to change the max health to 40, and then we're going to try and drag it, and as you can see, we get our warning. So now we'll change it back to 20 and drag it to our Hearts UI. We can see our hearts, and if I press the space bar, then we take damage and the heart's visibility changes.